Serious profession, serious. I'm the best, so do not test the top of my profession. The master of my chosen field, of that there is no question. Take the time to listen to what I have to say. To what I have to say, game that we have to play. It's serious profession. Serious.
Hi, my name is Patrick Paus, and welcome to my series of lectures on how to set up the criteria for success at tennis. Now, the reason that you are here is because everything else you have so far tried to be successful at tennis has failed. And you are now at a point in your tennis game where you have plateaued out. That is to say that even though you keep playing, even though you keep practicing, and maybe you still take tennis lessons, you can't seem to get any better at the game. You are plateaued out. And some of you have been plateaued out for years. Now, the reason for that is because you have never properly set up the criteria for success. And success in tennis is a very narrow line and highly unlikely. And the chances of you just randomly stepping upon it, as you have already found out, are zero. You cannot expect to become a successful tennis player if you just go out on a tennis court and start hitting tennis balls, hoping that at some point you are going to be successful. The chances again of that happening are zero. So what are these criteria for success at tennis? They are not just what you should do, guys. They are also what you should not do. And realistically, you should have learned these criteria before you even started to play tennis. Never hit a tennis ball as hard as you possibly can. And why you should never, ever, ever try to hit the ball as hard as you can. First reason is because what wins tennis matches is consistency. Whenever you're hitting, say, a forehand or a backhand, what you want to try and do is to hit the exact same shot each and every time, with zero variations. You don't want to arch the racket back a little bit further. You don't want to try and accelerate the racket head. You don't want to try and muscle the ball. You want to just hit the ball the exact same way, again, zero variations each and every time you hit it. This is what builds up consistency. Now, whenever you try and speed up the racket head or muscle the ball, what happens is that you actually tighten up your muscles. And in every study ever done about tennis, when you tighten up your muscles, the racket head actually slows down. It doesn't speed up. The other problem with it, guys, is that when your muscles are tight, and let's say the ball bounces a little bit higher or to the left or the right more than what you were expecting, now you have to stretch out and try to hit the ball back with muscles that are all tightened up. And this greatly enhances your chances for injuries. Hitting the ball the exact same way each and every time adds to your fluidity. It adds to your consistency. It adds to your timing. It adds to your rhythm. And that is exactly what you should be trying to do. You should be trying to develop timing and rhythm and a fluid stroke just by hitting the ball each and every time identical. I cannot emphasize that enough. When the ball is hit to you, it's almost like you tighten up. You start to run to that ball, boy, just as fast as you can. And when you get there, you're just going to hit that ball as absolute hard as you can. And you just get there and you're going to pulverize that ball with all your strength. And what happens rather consistently is that you hit the ball either into the net or out of bounds. And you cause what is known as an unforced error. An unforced error is when you hit the ball and you should have gotten it back over the net, but you don't. It's you who caused the error. And you cannot win tennis matches by causing unforced errors. Tennis points are much too hard to win to ever think that you can just give away points. Now, another reason you never want to hit the ball as hard as you can is that when you hit the ball as hard as you can, and when the muscles tighten up, it actually moves the racket head. Now, let me show you that. Here's me on a normal. Here's where the racket head should be when you hit a ball, guys. Straight up and down. And that is where it will be when you hit the ball consistently exactly the same time with absolutely no variation. Now watch what happens when I tighten up my arm muscles. See that racket head move? See it? It moves just that tiny bit. But now, when this tennis racket hits the ball, the angle is going to be this. Not the one I'm used to. Not the straight up and down. It's going to be at this angle instead of at this angle. Watch again. Movement, movement. Just that little variation in your racket head is going to cause you to either hit the ball in the net or out of bounds. So never, guys, never try to muscle the ball. Remember, you win tennis games through consistency. And consistency in your ground strokes means that you hit the ball the exact same way each and every time. No variations. And think how quick you'll get good when you adapt that philosophy. Now you're only going to ever be practicing one forehand and one backhand because you will have no variations in them. And you will be consistently doing the identical forehand and the identical backhand. And it won't take long, guys, until you start to develop a real good forehand and a real good backhand. The other reason, guys, that you never want to hit the ball as hard as you can, because normally, even though you could say hit a winner in that when you do it, it's that whenever you're trying to hit as hard as you can all the time, the points are really short. And you're never going to develop the rhythm of a rally. How do you learn to rally when you're trying to hit the ball as hard as you can? Because the points are going to be over before you know it. Part of playing good tennis, guys, is rallying. Getting your timing, getting your rhythm, getting your fluidity going through hitting the ball back and forth to the person that you're playing. You don't get timing and rhythm by smacking the ball as hard as you can each and every time. Now, another reason that you should never try to hit the ball as hard as you can is that you are not good enough yet. You see, guys and girls, it doesn't take an hour or a day or a week or a month or a year to develop a good forehand or a good backhand. It takes years and years of endless repetition. It doesn't happen overnight. So you just don't have the skill level yet to be able to hit that ball as hard as you possibly can. So don't do it. Apart from the fact that you will not only possibly be injuring your arm, you will be building up your unforced errors. You will not be developing any kind of a consistency or fluidness in your game because the points will be so short. In other words, guys, hitting the ball as hard as you can is a loser. And you don't want to be a loser.
Serious profession, serious.